I'm just come through to pay y'all a visit. We're gonna chop it up for a quick minute about densities and dimensions so that we get a good understanding of what they are. I'm gonna give it a few seconds before I start so, we could just get everybody in. I don't want to rush into it. Anyway, you know, just for the record, I got my new piece. I'm making these now. These is Enki pieces. As you can see how it's shining and bringing symbols all around the sides of it, going around all the way around. As you can see them, come back. So all the way. And then these is other symbols. Mm. I'm gonna be having these, for not just for sale, but I make them custom made. You can send me your picture you want to put into it or whatever, and I'll make you your amulet. These is protection pieces and everything. So, we're about to get it in. I got been working really, putting together different crystals. It's almost crystal season again, as you know, last year. So I'm gonna be bringing new looks to the tables, new designs. So look forward to seeing them over the next 2 weeks. And also now, peace. What's good, Mike? How you doing? And I'm gonna be having herbs now. I got herbs that I'm gonna be shipping. I got my shipping permit and everything, so I'm gonna be sending herbs. Like how you see this say Vervine. You ain't getting no little bag like how you go spend $5, $10 for a little bag that's like this big. You know what I'm saying? This is how you're gonna get like pounds and lots of ounces of it. You know what I'm saying? So I got these Bluetooth things on. They bugging out. I hope y'all can hear me. But anyway, I'm gonna have this is Vervine right here, and I'm gonna be shipping it out and actually helping y'all heal over there with the COVID thing going on. So prepare yourself to be bombarded on my Facebook by just information on health. I've been telling you I'm doing probiotic healing now, and I've done healed a lot of people in the community. As you can see, those is really my potions in the back I make with plants, and I use it to actually heal people. I'm not talking pseudo healing. I'm not no fake person that's trying to promote some fake shit. I done cure from cancer to fibroids, ulcers, anything, hemorrhoids. I research my stuff and I take the time out to get the right plant. This is doing it again. Anyway, I hope you're hearing me. I get the right plants. I actually take the herbs. Let me see some right here. And I grind them up myself and send them to you fresh. You're not getting no pseudo herbs. Everything is fresh. So I just want to put that out there so that you know what's coming from Enki. It's going to be about healing. So let's get into this now. What's inspired me to just come and put this out there is because I be talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people talk about this fourth density, or we in the fifth density, we in the fifth dimension. What the fuck is that? And I doubt it's anybody right now that could mess with me in the astral world and Adi double and Kundalini. I put my money up against anybody. This is not a game. I actually touch people through the screen, touch them. They feel it. Like, fix people teeth, take the headache and pain away. If you can't do things like that, don't even attempt any of this that I'm saying. This is real stuff. I get paid to do that. So now let's get into this. So when people talk about dimensions, we're gonna go from dimensions to density. So we see how pseudo this is, and it doesn't make sense, and you'll see that either. When you're talking about dimensions, you take a straight line. That's one dimension. You only got one dimension to it. Now you take us two lines or a flat surface, a flat piece of paper. That's two dimensions. Like if you see my hand, the inside flat. A sheet of paper is one. It's two dimension. You can see the width and the height of it. Now 3 dimension, it comes up off the paper. That's how we see in our reality. Why we say 3 dimension? Because we can never see the fourth side. You can't see behind you, but you can see my front and my side. So you see 3 dimensions. So now what happens at 4 dimension? 4 dimension now. If I said I'm seeing something, this paper now, it comes up off the paper into a cube, off the flat. It's not flat no more. It's dimensional. It's a cube. Now take that cube and make it clear like a mirror, see through. Like take my body and make it see through, so you can see the wall through me. That's fourth dimensional view. Four dimension. What dimension comes after that? There is no other dimension to come after that. Why is that? Because, hold on, this thing is bugging out, man. Hold on, I'm going to turn one of them off in a second. My point is this. Once you see in the fourth dimension and you're seeing clear through, there is no fifth. There's not another perspective you could see from more than a fourth dimensional view, meaning you could see the whole four squares, the whole sides, everything through it and to the wall, whatever else is in that wall and that wall, you see it forever infinitely because you're seeing all four dimensions. So what perspective will make a fifth perspective on this? Mathematically, you can't put together a fifth equation on it. That's it. It only goes to four. That's it. So now, first of all, what's going on, Cam? You got to hit me up on Facebook Messenger. That's where I'm at. And I don't know what's up right now. All right? So once you realize that there's only four dimensions, we got a Houston, we got a problem. So where does other fifth dimension come from? What's your name on Facebook, Cam? I don't know your name on Messenger. I must be crisscrossing you with somebody. I don't remember getting your message. You got it on the Cam bar too? That's the thing. You got to make sure that I know your name or have it associated with it. I haven't seen no message from you. I'd have definitely replied to it, but I'm gonna check again to see. If anything, I'm gonna look up that Cam Bar as I see it, Kambar. That's it, Brar, Brower. I got it. Hold on, let me take this one out. Wait a minute. This thing is bugged out. You keep on disconnecting. All right, let's get back to this. Now, what I'm saying now with the fourth dimension and fourth density is the same thing. Density, I don't even know how density get into the equation, but I'm going to give you the science of what I'm saying. There's a point to all of this. Density don't have nothing to do with astral projecting. It's not a density. It's a vibratory frequency. You're in a magnetic field. A magnetic field, let me explain to you what's a magnetic field so you understand. A magnetic field is a hydrogen atom that don't have no more protons or neutrons around it. It's stripped of it because it's compressed under a lot of pressure. When this happens, the hydrogen becomes a liquid. And so this liquid is what we call the magnetic field. They just found it on Jupiter inside of the sun. It's like a sea of liquid, but it's hydrogen, which gives it its magnetic field. All of us produce a magnetic field. So inside our core is the same hydrogen liquid flowing that gives us a whole magnetic field. So now that you understand the magnetic field, get to understand you only could have four to everything. Then after four, there is no fifth. You can't have a fifth perspective looking through a box. Where are you looking from? The top, the bottom? You could see it all from the front. You understand what I'm saying? So where we get these concepts and other things from is from people who think they know how to astral project. There's people who think they know how to teach. There's people who's trying to distract you from your mission of actually connecting to the ancestors. When you have these pseudo thoughts, you make up the picture that you're going to see. Let me give you an example. Say you're going to go astral projecting, not regular astral projecting. You're going to do there's this thing gods do. There's people here who went through this process called the apophysis. When this happens, it's your kundalini activated. So you got two type of people in this world. People who don't have no kundalini activation. These type of people only see in the physical world. They only can see externally. All the people out there protesting, all the people about the politicians, all the people about pedophilism, all the people about Trump. Those is external people. Their kundalini hasn't excuse me, Their kundalini haven't activated, so they don't have no spirituality to them. They don't know about the inner journey and what the science is. If you look outside of yourself, you're only going to see hurt and pain. The outside of you belongs to this thing called Satan. Satan has a real effect. It's called matter. Anything in matter is subject to transformation, decay. So we never really looked outside of ourselves because we know we're projecting out. Your thoughts is what control your reality. What you think is what you're going to see. So what you're seeing is only your thoughts. So you know that now you only will create with your thoughts. You wouldn't go out there and participate in what you're experiencing because who thoughts are those? Where did they come from? Did you make them up? No, you didn't. So you're using somebody else's thoughts. What are thoughts? Concepts that you live in and you go around. This shirt was one somebody thought. They thought about it and then they made it and it became in this reality. So you have to understand that. So if your kundalini ain't activated, the first thing is going to happen is you're not going to know about spiritual shit. You're not going to know about ancestors, and it's going to be hard for you to understand me. This is for people who's seeing in another frequency, who's going into another world. So if you wasn't taught right and just think you could go meditate and you in another world, it don't work like that. I do kundalini activation. I spin chakras. To get them there, I have to go through stages. I tell them, look, I'm sending you some energy to your pineal. I send it through my mind to mind. Nothing happened. They dead. They're soulless. So what happens? I talk to them for a long time. Listen, you have attachments. Forget about your bills. You don't have no kids no more. Forget about these things. Forget about what's going on out there. Chill. Just breathe. Relax. And then I said, let's try it again. Next thing you know, I send some energy. They'll be like, oh shit. How the fuck you do that? How I see that? How I feel that? That's the problem. You see, if you're not activated, you have attachments. You attach yourself to this world. You can't feel no energy. You can't feel the ancestors. It's called subtle energy, as in the book, the Emerald Tablet tell you, because it's very soft. It's the touch of the feather, Ma'at. That's why the Egyptians have the feather. If you can't feel the feather touch, you ain't alive. You're dead. That's what they call a dead person, where they had to go to the temple to go through the coming into day ritual, which is coming into day. What does it mean? To awaken yourself, to activate your chakras. When your chakras is activated, then you could experience this world and understand it. But without no chakras, you could be experiencing something, but you're only going to taste your food. You're only going to hear what you hear. You're only going to see what you see. And then you're going to equate it to a definition that the Europeans have wrote down on a piece of paper. So boom, you go to sleep now, and all of a sudden you see shit like Freddy Krueger and shit and chasing you. You go into sleep paralysis. This ain't in no book, but you see Freddy Krueger in a movie chasing you, trying to stab you. Why is that? That's because they take your spiritual images of your subconscious mind and put them into movies to demonize you. So now you're scared of your own spirituality. That looks bad. Or everything that they tell you, Baphomet, which is one of your gods, Pan, now you think it's bad. You say, no, this is evil. I can't have these. So you got a lot of people who's having activations right now, who's spiritually connected, but afraid to connect because of the experiences defining. When they look it up, what is this? Oh, this looks like some real evil shit. So you got to understand what's going on for you to get the picture. Are the ancient Kushites the first who inhabited this earth? No, the Kushites isn't the first one, Cam. The Kushites is just a off branch that came way, way, way later on. You know, you got different races prior before the flood. But the Kushites is one of the important races, but they're not the true race. I'll break that down in a minute so you understand. I like to take it from the beginning so it won't be no misunderstanding when I talk. I'm trying to make this clear so y'all can stop following those fools on YouTube. Stop following people that's lying to y'all and go follow yourself. Activate your chakras. Everybody tap into the universal consciousness. Y'all getting the information from the people who's doing it. And then don't do it yourself because you're lazy. Once you start feeding into this YouTube shit and this free information passing around, you create a meme society, a society that share one view, one thing. So now he's asking me what, You're the fifth density, and I saw you in the sixth density. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about, family? What density? What do you mean? And they're like, yeah, you know the density. You know. No, I don't know. What are you talking about? So once you realize these things, you start realizing somebody is pushing shit out in information to make you not see the truth. And when you don't see the truth, it's as simple as like what I was trying to state before. When I go into astral meditation, I get a pure view of the ancestors, beings, creatures. These creatures don't look nothing like what we experience in our physical world. These are the things the Egyptians have on their walls, your Set, your Osiris's. These creature looking things are still here. They never left. We're blind. Our third eye closed. We can't see it. So we think that they're really spirits here to attack us. Like we could kill a spirit that is over you. You think you could banish it. You think you could do something to take it out. For real? You can't even see it. It's been there. It control your arms and legs and make you move. You don't understand your biophysiology and what's going on. That's why I'm breaking it down to you so you understand the effects of the stars and what it does to you. So now, when you're talking about, well, I'm going to the astral world and I see the pure astral world, the ancestors, the beings, and it's like a hole. You're going through a hole. And this was a wormhole where you see the Egyptians with the staff stabbing the snake. The snake is the hole. It's actually another world called a parallel world that you travel through. People take ayahuasca, mushroom, acid to see this little spinning, swirly thing in the air. Or if they stare at the floor, look like ants walking around. That's the beginning of the parallel. It opens up. It opens up like a screen and keep opening up, opening up. If you can open it up, you go into another world. This is where people get all the information you see in the movies from Walt Disney, everybody, all the high people like Paracelsus, Newton, Tesla. This is Edison Information Center. This is the universal consciousness, also called auric energy, also called etheric energy. It's a field, it's a gas, it's a place, but it's not a density or a fifth dimension, seventh dimension thing. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If you do these things, you're going to imagine it and make it. Let's get back to the story. So now I get back into the astral world and I'm seeing the ancestors, the beings. I'm dealing with them. I'm a spiritual administrator. I work with them to help cleanse the earth, to take away certain things. So we go around to all parts of the astral world and we clean out fucked up shit to help fix this world. And so what we will act out on, it'll act out on your emotions, your psychology, their energy. Spirits are psychology, psychic. It only affect you. You never seen your arm bit off by a spirit. You never saw yourself cut or shot in meditation or astral. So they attack you psychically. They make you think these things and you believe these things. So they only can have a psychic attack on you. All right, now that you know that. Now when you go in there and you're seeing the pure thing, what makes you see the pure thing and what makes you see the false thing? One of them is pure, one of them is false. Let me break it down to you simple. If you had your bills on your mind, if you had your kids on your mind and you go into meditation, guess what you're going to see? Your bills, your kids. Even if it's not that, you're going to see the ancestors trying to kill the bills or the kids because you're projecting them. All right, how do I know this? Let me break it down. If you don't understand this, higher being shit. This is what we do. So I'm traveling with ancestors. Like I said, we're going to cleanse things. We're traveling through the wormhole. It's a wormhole. You always got to make it with your eyes. It's a procedure. It doesn't change. You don't go in there and you just, oh, I'm in there. No, it's a procedure. I'm the nigga that cuts through matter for them, and we all coming through like this. So when we get to our destination, before I get to my destination, sometimes I drift off. It's a long journey. And I start thinking about some girl. Next thing you know, I'm having sex with a girl and she's on top of me, riding me. And all of a sudden, ancestors say, hey. And I'm back to the wormhole. I'm like, all right, I got it. I'm back. Doing it with them. We on the journey. And I start drifting again. Next thing you know, I'm on the beach someplace with somebody else. And I'm there for a few, and they're like, hey. And I'm like, oh, I'm back. My point is this. Whatever you think, you're going to drift to. It's your consciousness and mind. Mind is the hologram of the matrix. So it's what your mind perceives, your consciousness go there. So when you're going to do meditation, you can't have nothing on your mind if you expect to see the pure astral world. You can't see the pure astral world if you're saying 4D, 3D. You have to know what that means. You have to have the whole mathematical equation written out for you, and you got it. Boom, let's go. I'm ready to go. It's like a longitude latitude thing they're just giving you when they're telling you third density, fourth density. Have they studied this shit like that? So they must have mapped out the whole astral and know the whole thing to be telling you that. So you need to know, tell them the answers so you can just get to God and get it over with. Or they must have got to God and got it over with. Nah, it don't work like that. They lying to you. There's no such thing as densities, and we're getting back to that again. You understand what I'm saying? It's only four-dimensional view. You can see everything. You look around, you see everything. It's no walls that you can't see through. It's no nothing you can't go through. Four view. That's it. Five view. It must be two of you seeing it from two angles to continue another four view. You cannot say anything past that if you're looking at a box and seeing all the sides of it. So that's the whole reason why you only have a fourth dimension, and it cuts from their ancestor record, Egyptian record, Coptic record. Fourth dimension, that's it. Five now, you're making this up. You're imagining it. You're going to drift off when you go into the astral world, and you're going to cause me and other beings who's also creatures and beasts. We're not just this form now. Don't get it twisted. This is just the anchor. We up there as these other things that do spiritual work. We see everything. It's nothing off limit to nobody out here if they know how to tap in. But you see, you got Europeans or your government or whoever y'all watching on YouTube telling y'all how to do it when they can't even do it. If they knew how to do it, they wouldn't be telling it. You don't hear me bragging about anything I do. I started, but then I stopped. Why? Because it's sacred. You could hurt somebody with that type of stuff. But I want to wake everybody up because of this a pandemic. You don't realize when they tell you isolation, you're in a frequency of the universe. This is why density don't make no sense either. Because every 2,160 years, you're in a new precession of the zodiac. We just left the Pisces age. What's the difference between Pisces and Aquarius? The stars is bigger and heavier, so you're getting a denser thing. So you could call that fifth density if you want, but that don't make no sense. When you're just saying you're going around this 12 constellation and it takes 2,160 years each one. And they're all different, so you're going to feel different feelings. So once you realize you're entering the Pisces age and it's different, what you used to do yesterday don't apply to today. A lot of people is having psychological attacks, activations. There ain't no such thing as psychological attacks. What we call that is when your Kundalini activates. First, that's what happens. Why? It must happen because of the simple fact is when you don't have no chakras activated, you're just what we call a family person. You want sex, you want car, you want money, you want house. You know why you want these things? You want these things because your root chakra is blocked. If your root chakra wasn't blocked, you'd be like a bum. Good. I'm straight. Yo, the wind blow, you happy and you coming. That's an unblocked person. But when we block, we find what we're looking for in the form of material things. We go chase material things to get these things that we're lacking. So you could tell a dead person and a blocked person goes like, yo, I'm gonna get me a car, yo, I'm gonna get me a house, yo, I'm gonna get me this. And they're never gonna be happy. They're gonna be a destructive force that next they're gonna want what you have because they're blocked. So you have to know what blocked is. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people you following and you fuck with, you thinking they normal. Hey, Joe, you good. They're not. They're blocked and they're trying to fit into society. So they take the information, grab it and run with it without verifying it, without researching it, without even knowing what it means. That's what's going on. So now once you do that, you say, how do I unblock? What's that about? Well, first of all, you have to realize that the blockage gave us our reality. By you being blocked, it created your reality. When you start unblocking, you see another world, another dimension. You fucking with a double body, ethereal body, and then a physical body. So when now a lot of things will make sense to you as far as the occult knowledge, as far as the Bible, as far as the pyramid text. Now it'll have meaning to you. You're like, oh, that's what it means. Oh, I get it. But without having yourself unlocked and your chakras open, that's what's called the seven seals or the seven candlesticks, you would never get it. That's why I said this is a mystery. Jesus be like, this is a mystery. To those that have ears, let them see it. To eyes, let them see. This is the mystery. You have to have your chakras unlocked. Why? Because when you eat food, food is a vibration. Your eyes pick up vibration. Sound is a vibration and smell is a vibration on your senses. All of them is one thing, but you interpret them as five different things. Here go the trick. When you hear something, sound comes with a color, a taste, and a flavor. It comes with everything. When you see something, it comes with a color, a taste, and a sound. When you taste something, it also comes with a picture, a sound. So now all of this, you're just realizing your five senses is more to it. You're supposed to be able to close your eyes and your mouth and hear something and can still picture it and taste it. Same thing when you smell. Why you ain't able to do that? You're missing the mitigating force of the five senses. The mitigating force of the five senses is your third eye. This is why you have to activate, because you'll never get the thing that take information and consolidate it into one logo so you understand it simple. So you interpret one thing at a time. You interpret light as light. You interpret sound as sound. You interpret this as food as food, when all of them is still all one thing. And you're supposed to hear them all with one. So that's the difference from when you activate your chakras or your third eye to when it's not activated. You're not able to process information or your reality on the whole. You only could process parts of your information, not the whole thing. It's a difference between parts of a thing or the whole thing. The difference is you're in the electromagnetic spectrum, which is 100%, right? But in that 100%, you only see 0.2%, which is called the visible light spectrum. But you ignore the rest of the 98 point or 99 point something percent of it. So it does exist. It's like having a ball in your hand and you only see a little bit of the ball. But cats see more, dogs hear more and see more of it. So you understand, these things exist. It's just that you're not there to see it or tap in. So what's the question? How do I tap in? How do I get to see these things? It's like I said, it's all about attachment. Enki, I call myself unattached. I don't attach myself to nothing, no experience, not a person, not a stress, not nothing. You have to be unattached for you to be able to leave your body. Your body was designed not to have stress and pressure, and you was designed at evening time to leave and go to other places so you could come back, because you were sent here to fix the earth. But you don't know how to fix the earth. They give you the information to fix the earth. You get it when you awake and you come back and you do the duties. That's what you're here to do. What happened? Why that didn't ever take place? Niggas loving basketball. Donald Trump. The pedophile shit. Distractions. Everything, your music, YouTube, Facebook. Distractions. If you don't take the time out to research and learn yourself, you're only going to follow what everybody else is saying. If you do that, you'll never be able to get it. It's like this. If a doctor only going to be a doctor when he puts on his uniform and go to work 5 hours a day, is he really a doctor, or he's just pretending to be a doctor? Same thing, when he come home from work, he put on his regular house clothes and now he's a husband. Is he a husband, or is he pretending to be a husband? You can't have two trades. You can't do two things and think that you did one thing. You have to be a jack and a master of one trade. If you're a doctor when you're working and when you're not working. You're supposed to be coming up with formulas like I sit and I make my medicine. When I make my medicine, I don't get off at 5 and then go hang out and chill. I'm still thinking medicine when I'm not making medicine. I'm still thinking medicine when I'm sleeping. I'm having books played in my head. I'm studying my craft. It's called a craft because I'm a master of my craft. It's not for you to just say, well, I got a profession. I'm going home now. Go sit on the couch and scratch my balls. And that's what you're about. Nothing. You only go do something because you have to do something. You're really about nothing. That's the truth. So when you're about something, you're always on it. You're always on it. You're building it. Even if you're a lover, a husband, you're always on it. on it. You can't take no time off and say you're a part-time this, part-time that. That's a procrastinator. But we have brazen a system to teach us these things. They teach us to just don't question what's the density. What the fuck is the density? And then you will realize nobody know. Like nobody don't know what's energy. I asked them, what's energy? You know energy. Electricity. What's electricity? Energy. Nobody knows. These things are spirit. Spirit. You got to know what these things is. Spirit. Little old spirit is voltage. Volts is what they are, charges. These is also atoms too. So you have to understand it. So when you want to astral project, when you want to leave your body, you're about to leave this dimension for permanently. Your soul had enough reincarnations and you're scheduled to leave. It's not everybody scheduled to leave this trip. It's only certain people, and those people will be activated. They'll be leaving their body. Why? Because when you die, you have to know how to get out your body. You're the consciousness in the body. You're not the body. So they start teaching you how to astral project. By the time you die, it's just a transition. That's it. You understand what I'm saying? So once you understand how to transition, your meditation is over. Your journey is over. It was just to open you up to that process. But now let's talk about the soulless ones. The soulless ones is the ones who make up the words density, fifth dimension, sixth dimension. They made up a whole nother thing for themselves because they can't do it. They're soulless. They're blanks. And so blanks got to make you a blank too. So what they do, they give you a whole doctrine that you now, instead of actually doing the real thing, you're pseudo like them. And y'all talk about it because it's ego. And so y'all have a good egotistical talk and you feel good about yourself, but you don't have no PSI power. You can't levitate. You can't move. You can't fly. So what are you really doing? You're just doing it to ego talk. We can't help each other ego talking. That's like bumping elbows to see who's stronger and without fighting. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand what's going on here. I'm putting you on so you go seek it the right way. Don't go out here doing shit for your ego. And talking is not it. I don't care if it was 100 dimensions. Going around bragging about this dimension, that dimension, render you inoperable to do these things. For you to be able to do it, you have to say, forget about what it means. Forget about what the definition is. Just do it. You're an action. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to tap into your action self to be able to do it. You can't go around, what does this mean? What does that supposed to do? What is this supposed to do? Just do it. Once you learn it, you do it by trial and error. So that's how it would work. You get what I'm saying? All right, cool. Don't go forward the light when you die. Astral realm isn't the end. It's part of Earth. It don't work like that. Vast elliptic planes, unfortunately, that you don't have no situation where you're going towards the light because it's occurring right now while you awake. It's just that you can't see it. It's like the stars don't go away when the sun come out, so that light is always there. You just can't see it until you're about to die, because that's when you calm the fuck down and able to see. But if you just able to meditate, you go into that light all the time, and it's not a light. It's divided into two. There's a dark side and a light side. Who's from the dark side is going to go to the dark side. Who's from the light side is going to go to the light side. Not everybody's from the same place. That's the trick that you can't fall into, to try to be a society together, because there's demon people here and they belong to the dark side. So their path is to that way, and your path might be to the light, but you don't know it. So let's figure this out. What happens when you're talking about going to the light and the dark? There is no light to go to. Why? Because you're in the light already, and the light has intelligence. There's no such thing as a word called light. What is light is a being. It's a real living being, but you think you don't look like you don't have arms. He's not alive. No, light is a being. Get that straight. Once you could understand that and conceptualize it, you're on your way. So you got a being called light that pushes into everything, and we're able to exist because of his energy, because of his sharing his light. So when you go back to being, you're going to realize you're just an emanation of the light. There is no such thing as you. You don't exist. You're him that was miseducated, went to school, you saw your family, and you believe you're an individual. You individualized yourself. That's why we as a nation can't serve a purpose, because of this individualization shit. So once you realize you're part of the collective whole, everybody named, like in Egypt, would have been one name, Thoth. Everybody name is Thoth. His name is Thoth. His name is Thoth. His name is Thoth. Because they all tapped in and just did what the spirits wanted them to do. So they made Egypt with the great pyramids to leave their mark as a one-mind society. Left this religion called Coptic for us. Coptic religion. Coptic religion is the life of the Essenes. The Essenes wrote the Bible. So you following something that our ancestors left to us through this light. It wasn't through what we think. So you can't go no other than to the light, because everything is in the light. It's even the darkness is in the light. You got to understand what's going on here. So the light had a way to personify himself, because like I said, Google the word emanation. You're not unique. You're not yourself. You share a soul. That's why Jesus says, I'm in the Father and the Father is in me. He's the universal soul of the world, but God is the light that makes everything shine. You must understand this. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know the basics, that's why we get tricked. You don't know what you're doing. They say it's light. So you go, oh, it's light. What is light? It's the same thing I said. So what is energy? I say, like, what is water then? Or what is the tree? You just be like, oh, it's a tree. So what is it? You don't know. A tree is a being. It's not here as a tree. It's actually one of the beings from Cyrus or Pleiades, because I'm about to say Cyrus is dogs. You have to know that. Just like the cats is also Pleiades. Never knows is a tree, because the trees is ethereal. I said it wrong. I just want to correct it. We share an ethereal body. You could Google it, with trees. We share an astral body with cats and dogs. Cats and dogs is what's considered aliens. If you was to see them when your Kundalini activated, that's why there's no physical evidence of an alien. We just see it in the astral, because we could see it as abductions and feel it's real, but it was never real. So you got to understand what's going on here. You understand? Yeah, trees is the higher beings, because trees is ethereal. They actually is what we call helper spirits. If you could see them, trees is in the movies as Transformers. That's when they showing you Transformers, they showing you the tree gods. So you got to understand who your spirit guides is to wake you up. Inside you, you're God. You're an emanation. So when you die, you're not going to remember not your brother, not your sister, no nothing. Just the lessons you were supposed to have learned here. Or was you deceived the whole time by the archons, the star people? So you got to understand what's going on here. That's why I said externally out of you don't exist. You don't have holes in your eyes to show you what's out there. You feeding off of vibrations, and you believe in everything that they show you. You're not seeing it yourself. You're believing something that you see, but you're not seeing it yourself. You got to get the difference between the two so you understand. Once you understand that, then you will seek for higher learning and try to understand, what am I really looking at? Or what is this? This is what's called natural science. Once you learn natural science, then you'll be able to pick out and know the difference between this, what's that. And a lot of it got to do with our ancestors' information being not in English. You got to realize what happened when they made the new world. They created a language called English. When they made up English, they added these things called vowels. They didn't have no definition for vowels, because you have to have symbols to represent the letters. Like all the letters prior to having vowels was only consonant. The consonants is called the Semitic language. So we only had the Semitic language, and the Semitic language is tied to stars, the constellations, what they saw in the sky looked like the Sanskrit letters, the Egyptian letters, the Hebrew letters. So they had it tied to something, so it can't change. Now, when the Europeans came, they made up this thing called abjabs. Abjabs is what's called vowels. If you didn't assign it a universal meaning, You assign it a meaning. So now they switched up the words or the sacred books by putting vowels in it and making up this language called English, which is a Phoenician language. They remixed it over to give us new meanings to old terms. These new meanings now deceive our psyche and our perception, and so we don't see things right and we don't interpret everything right. So you have to know this to understand what's going on. So now, when you read names like Eve, you think Eve was a physical person. When Adam in the Bible means dirt in Hebrew, it just means dirt. And they now in English though, that's a person. That's the name of a person. Eve in Hebrew was Hava, Havwa, Haawa, or something like that, which meant serpent. But for us, we took it as a divine being. So we was deceived, and we continue to deceive ourselves through the ego until we understand what's going on. So I'm putting y'all on into higher learning, so it gives you an opportunity to go search out the truth, so you can align yourself with the truth. Because when you start astral projecting, when you're going on these runs and these meditations, things happen. And if you misinterpret it or you're projecting your own into it, you're not going to ascend. You're not going to get to the levels of the higher parts of it, because it's your mind that's creating your astral world. It's only a mind thing. You can't do nothing in there because you're vibrating at your own frequency. So if I say I'm an astral project and you're sitting next to me and he's going to astral project, and it's a whole room of people astral projecting, none of us is going to see each other. It's not like you coming out in a group. You're going to be in your own astral. I'm going to be in my own astral. He's in his own astral. It's like that until we start caring for each other. Then we lock in Merkabas. You're in a Merkaba. That's your astral. It's a unique identification vibratory frequency within a star dodecahedron that is always with you. When you die, you float out into the parallel as an orb. You're an orb. That's why it's a circle. So once you realize that, then when you come back, when two people have sex, it actually pulls us through a black hole back into a body. It don't mean that was you, the biological mother and the father. The soul was already up and grown. It just ain't developed yet because it comes in not knowing the new world, the new language, the new things. So it take a while for it to develop, and it look like you had to grow up again. But you already was grown up there and don't have nothing to do with the body. The body stays on the earth. That's why when you jump up, you don't stay floating up. You come back down because it's attached to the earth. It's only an earth body for your temporary experience of the consciousness, but you're not the body. But if you don't know this and you believe you are, you're subject to everything that the body experiences. And that's why the government, the Illuminati, all these people could do the things to you and get away with it, because you're looking externally outside yourself and seeing all this stuff, participating, and don't know what the fuck is going on. So that, I hope, can help y'all understand things a little bit more and point y'all in the direction of why certain people can see into this astral world and certain people can't. Why certain people always talking about fifth dimension, five density, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're trying to just sound good with their ego but have not done it. When you really do it, you have the ability to send healing energy. You have the powers to send your chakra energy from your pineal to pineal, and the person feel it. You also get to leave your body and go anywhere and fly and see anything. I was in the White House from up to my neighbor's house. I go anywhere. It doesn't. You don't have no limitation. It's called the universal consciousness, or the Akashic records. You could tap into it. It's a magnetic field, and you have a magnetic field over you. If you don't know what it is, it's the shiny stuff right here that covers your body. When you go to sleep, it drops down, and your own demons come out to haunt you, or your own spirits. That's when you go into sleep paralysis, because your body is numb, but you wake up and see some type of entity floating over you, or you had experience. This is all a part of yourself. This is just another person doing it to you, or something is attacking you. This is yourself that you don't know, your multiple self that our ancestors left in books but was never interpreted into the new world, because the new world never gave y'all wisdom books of the east. Remember, you came from the east in boats. They didn't give you shackles in a book. They gave you shackles on you and a gun to your head. So when you came here, you lost your knowledge of your ancestral ways, how to float, how to fly, how to do magic. You lost that ability. Now you're starting to remember a little as we get into the Aquarian stars, because those is ancestor stars, and they jump back in our body and have people doing strange things. These strange things is all of a sudden you know how to do rituals, you know how to make candles, you know how to do crystal shit. These is who you originally was that's coming back. So you got to understand these things so that you know yourself and know what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? So I just wanted to give you a difference, you know what I'm saying? But now I want to take it to the next level, because with all this going on, why are we being deceived? Why are we having a fake astral world? Why are we having fake experiences and people agreeing with it? The reason why is because you have to understand there is a different path for Europeans. Europeans got a problem that they created that they're trying to keep under the bag, that it's not working no more. People want answers. People is protesting, acting up, because they've been our leaders all this time, but they've been fucked up. They do fucked up things, and us as normal spirits want to know, why is that? Why we live in a world we have to pay to live in? Why we have to have these diseases? But you get now to understand, Europeans lie about everything, and this is where the problem is. The spirits that they lied about is here in the people now. They're very aggressive, and they want answers. They want the truth to be out. So what is the truth? What is this all about? Well, if you look, Europeans claim to have a race. They're not a race. That's the problem. They can't find their own origin. They can't find their own gods. They can't find their own culture because it doesn't exist. They don't want to say that they come from black people. When they do that, the world will understand how mutation works and how it mutated into the white gene from a black gene. But until they come out and say these things, they're pretending like they know things. They're pretending like they actually made up things, and they have their people agreeing and making us feel like they know what they're talking about. They don't. Their science is wrong. Their religion is wrong. Their social behavior is wrong. Everything is wrong. And it works against indigenous people. It makes us disassociate from our soul, because deep down inside we know it's wrong, but we agree with it. Because for them, they don't know nothing. All they know is what makes them feel good. So they be like, oh, I don't like this because it feels negative. Or this don't feel right. And they abolish half the world. We was called Negroes and slaves because it felt right to them. So we in a system designed with soulless people that control peoples with soul, and it has to turn around. The people with soul got to stop being so nice and so passive and tell these motherfuckers, look, you don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up and sit down. And that's that. And we lead the world in making this world a proper world, because if they do it, they're going to keep on pulling out things that they don't feel good about. It don't make me feel good. It's negative to me. That don't feel right. That's how we live now. You see? So you got to understand, when you do that and you put up with it, your soul and your spirit disassociate from your body. You might be there smiling and your soul don't agree with it. So you get to be soulless like them through what's called disassociation. When your soul disassociates from you, you're like a clay. Anything anybody say you agree with. You're really looking for input data for you to move, walk, smile, respond, because you don't have your creativeness in there no more. So I would advise you to step away from those type of people that don't agree with your soul ways, or who offends your soul or make you feel like you're disassociating from yourself, and be amongst people that actually nurtures your soul, make you feel good, and enhance your state of being. When you be around people like that, there are really gatekeepers to block you from you leaving your body upon death. And you wouldn't have the time to figure out how to leave your body like I'm teaching you through the chakras. You'd be out there just laughing, playing, socializing. Then by 50, 45, your chakras open on their own and you having weird ass experiences and you don't know where it's coming from, and they tell you you got mental disease. We're not all the same, and we're still evolving, even though we look like we're not evolving and we look like we finished growing, but your mental and your kundalini or your chakras is still growing. So it's important for you to understand these things as a part of you. Now, when you astral travel, when you go to what's called a dream, you're not dreaming. You're going back home. You're going to another place that you're from. But it's vibration, vibratory frequencies. Your physical body cannot vibrate fast because it's a physical body. But when you lay down to rest and you relax, your consciousness now start vibrating. You see wave lines come up. These wave lines is the magnetic field that you're in. You're in a magnetic field that you're half digital. You turn to a little orb and you project yourself back home. This becomes what's called a dream in this world because we don't never explored it or knew what it was. But it's not a dream. It's your real home, and you only here a few hours, 12, 17 hours a day. 8 hours you're sleeping because you have to go back home and replenish. When you say you're dreaming and you're sleeping, you forget about all the people who owe you that you're going to beat up. You forget about all the crazy people who malice you, and you come back anew because the astral body, while in the other side, it replenishes and take away your forget-me-not. So when you wake up, you feel anew and you forget and you forgive. That's how the body is designed. But it's also now to remind you when you hit a certain age, call these things called chakras. People don't know what they are, but that's what make you have consciousness of maybe from me on the screen and you watch it every day till a year from now, you say, oh shit, there's some bottles back there that you didn't see before, and then a year another chakra open, you say, oh shit, there's a microphone up there. Everything was already here, but it depends on what chakras is unlocked, is what you see. What you perceive is perception. This is what's called epigenetics. So epigenetics is when your DNA codon start flapping in and out, turning off and on because you're understanding what I'm saying. If you understand what I'm saying, you're getting activated right now. Your DNA codon is flapping on and on. It's perception. So now you see things that you didn't see before because you didn't see it. Your ego was blocking you from seeing these things. It's the same like saying you was Lady Owl first. Now you're not Lady Owl no more. You're Mom. Put the quotes, mom, 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 mom. You do mom things. But inside you still Lady Owl. But you forgot that and dropped that ego to pick up the mom ego. Now you're the hero. Dun, 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 I gotta work and feed the kids and save them. And you forget about Lady Owl. And later on, Lady Owl come back and it'll be a haunting because Lady Owl picked up mom habits. But the kids is gone now, and what is Lady Owl gonna do? She forgot how to be Lady Owl because she stopped doing that to be mom. Now the kids is gone, so what they do? They go do fuckery. They go find another man to get pregnant again with, or they just be a nuisance in somebody's life because they never did nothing for themselves. So you got to understand what's going on. Mom is just a title. Nobody's mom, nobody's dad, nobody's wife, nobody's husband. If I tell you you're my wife, you're going to act like it. But is that really how you are? No, it's a title. And so you pretend. We're tired of pretending. You have to be yourself. And so that's a big difference. That's the making perception to perceive something and understand something. When you understand something, then you don't have to be mom, the husband, the boyfriend, because you understand it. But when you don't understand it, you jump into that role and play a role. And when you play a role, you're subject to all the stuff that happened in there, including the problems. You can't solve it because you're mom. You know who could solve it? Lady Owl could solve it, but she be herself. But it's hard to when you're treating the hero. So I just want you to know, these was all brought to us by our Democratic Party a long time ago to make us good conservatives so we could go vote, and we deny our true self. When we deny our true self, we deny activating. We deny everything being offered to us. Shit. When we deny all these stuff, we catch attachments. When we have attachments, you can't leave your body. Why is this important? Why Buddha teaches? Why everybody's saying this, and why am I saying it? Because in the spirit world, when you transition, you don't just pass. You stay here and be a demon to your attachments. So you be that succubus, that vampire that's fucking everybody up here because you got attached. That's what happens. So people like me who's new to the spirit world, I don't want to do all this stuff, but I'm learning how to snap people's heads and rip them out their sheath body. You have a sheath body, and there's an innocent child. But in that innocent child is hurt, resentment, and a whole bunch of other sheath bodies to make you up. That is the wall. That is hard, that you don't trust nobody no more. When you get like that and you die, you got attachments here in this world, and you become a demon where you have demon catchers chasing you. But as soon as somebody do a read psychic people who do readings and all that, how you think they do it? As soon as they get into that mode, because they got a channel, you touch them and start living through them like, oh, yes, yes. That's what demons do. And so sometimes it possesses the psychic, it possesses kids, it possesses people. And we are demon catchers running around chasing out these things, because when we catch them, we have to just strip them of that one level of attachment. So they could have multiple levels of attachment. So you take them out one and they're good for a second, but they still sexually attached. So every time somebody has sex, they're participating, getting that energy. So you have to learn, when they're telling you to practice non-attachment, it's to save your soul. It's not because you're gonna be enlightened. No, it's to save your soul. You're gonna be a demon. I'll give it to you straight. You're gonna be a motherfucking nuisance to the earth because you're attached to something, and you can't float up. It's the same like when I tell you, if you want to feel my energy when I send it to you, you have to forget about your kids, your mother, your bills, everything. You just forget about even you, and then I send it. You be like, oh shit. It's the same with attachments. You can't float out and leave if you're attached to something. You're going to stay there, but it's not going to be your body. It's the attachment. In you, you have multiple layers coming down to you like rainbow layers. And one of them is the smoker. Right here is the smoker in here. You go here, it's a bigger being, but he's the one that's always smoking, always doing this. You come down here, it's the drinker. Over here is the promiscuous one. Over here now is the one that look at me, I'm always doing it. And these is your egos, your shadows. They're all there in you. And so your job is to alleviate each one so you can have the pure you, the child, the innocent one, like how Jesus said, you have to be innocent like a child to get in. That's the one that is the creator in you, that see this world new. What makes you a creator is new. A blank sheet of paper, now you're ready to draw on it. But if I say, yo, that's a bottle, that's the wood, that you lose your interest by the time you're 30. You just, that's wood, oh, that's a bottle. You don't have no interest in this world no more. You ain't gonna create nothing. You're just gonna go to work and wanna come home and lay down. But it's the child that is seeing this world anew. Don't see that as a bottle. Don't see that as wood. They see it as something else and create things. But once you can define it and you put it in a construct, you can't do nothing with it no more. You made a law to that shit. So you have to be lawless and don't want to know. It's like if you're going to get into you're being bullied by somebody and you didn't know that and you said, fuck it, I'm going to fight him. But then somebody said, wait, you know he beat everybody up and she beat that person up too and this person. Now you don't want to fight them, you're scared. But if you didn't know that information, you probably would have tore that person up. That's how it works. Once you put something in a box and define it, you make the laws of what it can and can't do. But when you don't put yourself in a box or define it, it's a probability that has no definition. You could do anything. That's how everything works. So that's why imagination of a child, that's right, and you have to tap into that. And if you don't tap into it, you're going to get old and stiff. What happens to old people? They always upset, they complaining about life. Life got boring to them because they hate life. But it's the child in you. When you're in that room with your friend and y'all start touching each other and you start playing with your titties and all that stuff, that's because it's the child that leads to foreplay. It's the child that makes you smile. It's the child that make you feel innocent. That's the one who's going to be the one that cross over to what's called spirit work. See, there is no light. We back to that. There's no light. It's the God. It's the God. And when you coming down, you have emanations of yourself. Remember, I gave you all those other people that you in that create your form. Your form is not a fixed form. You're a composite of all your past lives and past experiences summed up. That's why you're here not to accept who you are. You're here to break your, oh, really? Yo, I'm not like that. You're here to break that. That's who we are, our reptilian reactive self. That's our problem. That's the ego. So you're here to kill your ego because you caught that from your past life. You don't have those instincts you have now. You caught them from your past life. If you clear them out and deny them, you're gonna get new instincts to serve you for your new soul. If not, your soul is still an animal. Animals hang out in packs. They group together. That's not a good trait for a human being to be like the animal. You have to pull yourself apart. That's why it's called alchemy, so that you learn to grow fast by yourself through isolation. Once you're able to do that, you will stop the attachment of your soul. Keep running attached to something. You're feeling insignificant. You're feeling like you're not accepted. It's your soul that's doing that. The soul loves to attach itself, but you're the consciousness in the soul. You have to train it. That's why it's called How to Train a Dragon. So you train your soul to don't attach yourself to other people's experience. Why? Because you're here to, like I said, get rid of your old instincts, which is karmatic. So you want to get rid of your karma. By not experiencing other people's experiences, you won't do that because you're sharing somebody else's karma, which brings about a new karma in this lifetime. So you're going to live a karmatic life. You got to understand that. So not to live a karmatic life, you have to fall back and let yourself do what you're supposed to do without pulling attachments into the game. That's freeing your soul up. So when you die, your soul move on. Your soul could be a beast, a creature, a lover, a sex fiend, all these stuff that you don't see within yourself until later on you're going to come to self-realization. As other things is taken away from you, then you see these things. It's not always you're going to see it now. When we was young, the first thing we're going to is that you're hot, you cock, you're sexy, you got beautiful body, you fine. I open the door for you every time. So you live a life of hustling and gaming because of your looks, your features, your body, man and woman. So we get over. But when you get older now, in your late 30s, mid 30s, this is what happens. You can't use your body like that no more, so you become more mental, and now things start making more sense to you. You're a different person because you can't just come to the door and stand there and look sexy and have the men's all acting silly or buying you shit. It don't work no more. So once now you get to this frequency is when you become more conscious. So I say that to say what you might see today, you ain't gonna see tomorrow, or what you see tomorrow, you missed yesterday. So you're gonna see everything gonna play out. You gotta understand that. Because these is what you create as your demon. These become your ego as you take this journey. And if you don't know how to purify your ego, you become the shadow ego when you die. And it doesn't just stop as, like I said, me chasing you around in this astral zone as you try to find a body to possess, because you're going to look for somebody who's stressed out, somebody who's vibrating out of the frequency of a human. How you possess somebody. What is it? Depression, anxiety, neurosis. You hear what neurosis is? Neurosis is, somebody's gonna get me. I think the government is plotting against us. This is, he's whispering in your ear now, and you're picking it up and you feeding it. So he's slowly now going to attach to your magnetic field because you start speculating with the spirit. The spirit is telling you this. That's what thoughts is. Spirit's talking to you. Once you realize this, have no thought. When you go in the astral world, if you be like, I see them, but they don't talk, have no thoughts. The first thought that come to your head, he just spoke. That's him talking to you. The first thoughts that come to your head. But if you have multiple thoughts and all that going on, you're being bombarded by spirits and not able to pick up on your own frequency. So that's the first you got to understand. So once you're able to do this nirvana, the silence, quiet down everything, your astral experience take on a different tone. You see the God world. You see angels, spirit beings. That's what's really there. But if you watch a movie on the Illuminati and pedophile, more than likely when you go into meditation or dream or astral, you're going to be in a pedophilic world where people's attacking you, a whole bunch of stuff going on. You have to have knives and you're shooting it out. That's fake. That's not real. That's an induced state. Ancestor shit is about, hey, welcome home. Let's learn. I'm gonna teach you how to fly. Come on, these is it. You do hand signs. They show hand signs. You see what I'm saying? They show meditation poses. They show you it right in front of you. There's no nothing going on. So what we experiencing is not the real astral. When we going into real astral, you flying through your body. Your body has 4 frequencies to it. You can see your body as an X-ray. You see it as like static. You see it in 4K, or you can see it in a virtual reality of outside. Meaning, I could go on my body and see what's happening down the street. That don't mean I went down the street. I'm in my body. Your body got 48 constellations in your body. Your body is the world. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to understand there's more going on here than you think. That's why they're inside of you too. Because you're the one projecting this out. Once you understand this, then you will understand, hold on, I got to educate myself. I got to research everything. This is not what I think. So when you astral project, what is really going on? Let me explain to you how God do it, because I use that very really. He's very real to me. What he made the body is, as you go through here, you're going through here, you think you're in Cyrus, you're in Venus, but you're opening up what's called nadis, knots inside of you for your chakras. When it finishes, it's a lotus flower here that drops down and you finish a whole chakra and you jump into another one. Your body is a vortex of these tunnels that's all over your body called nadis, with chakras and lotuses what you have to finish. So you're in a tube thinking you're in space. You're in a tube thinking you're in your mother house. This tube, you're sending light because your consciousness. Because when you're traveling in there, it's like a movie being played. You think you're at your friend's house or you're having a dream. But you're moving. That's what it means. You're moving through the body, pushing light into an invisible thing called your cannabinoids, or you could call it your nadis and your chakras. You're going to do that till you bump into a gatekeeper right there at the end, that you have to know certain symbols or signs to get past them. Now, if you don't know, I told you, it's replicated in real life. You're going to have an asshole boss or a neighbor that is an idiot or always mortify you. And once you fix something with him, that's the gatekeeper in your body. It goes away and you move up in perception now. Everything is perception. So you have different people that's in different perception, meaning you have people that's in their reptilian brain, some people is in their prima facie brain, and you have some people operating from their neocortex brain. It's 3 different levels: savagery, barbarianism, and civilization. It doesn't mean anything as far as derogatory wise. I'm not disrespecting from the savage mentality to the civilized. What's the difference is your primordial self. Reptilian one got more powers. They're more psychic. They have more ability because they're using their primitive mind. The primitive mind, that's how we had to survive. The barbaric mind is when we had to use brute force and started learning. So there's nothing wrong with that too. I'm giving you 3 groups of people operating concurrently in this world right now, depending on what brain they're in. So you will have more people in Africa and in the Caribbean in their lower reptilian brain, which is a higher one for psychic and spiritual stuff, and where you have people now in America who's more in their neocortex in Europe, which is more civilized, transcending this one into a more usable information. So which is spirituality, where the ones down in the reptilian, they'll do some obia on you, put some rocks together and fuck you up. So neither one of them is wrong. It's just a different concept. So you get to understand different people is here. Now that's all it means. So let me just get
Wait 1 minute. I have to fix this.
hello, I'm on a YouTube live. Please stop doing that to my phone. You're interrupting my YouTube. I can't talk right now. Thank you. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right. So now that you understand what I'm saying about that, it's very important for you to realize just because we're in different parts of our brain, it doesn't mean anything. It's not a derogatory state because people is in it now consistently and we're running concurrently. You got your savage, barbarian, and your civilized. They're all ancestral mind, ancient one's mind, the medieval mind, and the new neo you could say Platonic Christianity and all this other shit that they're doing now. So all of them is running concurrently. You have to find your position in it on how you do it so you know what is going on. But without the ancestor information, without understanding what's going on as far as the spirits you're gonna see, and you will see Egyptian spirits. Ain't nothing changed. It ain't no new spirit. It's no race that the white people see something different and the black people see something different. That's not true. Everybody is one race. It's only was one race ever made, and that's a black race. And we have mutations of it. And people follow these and made up their own culture off of these mutations, but that don't make them real. When you go back in the astral, you have to be your real self. The first souls is still here. If you lived before as a black soul, and just because you came back in a white body, that don't make you white. It's just a body mutation over time. It went from Africa to geographic different location as far as Europe. And once you come into that body, that don't give you to say you're another race. You have to know your history of how you got there. If not, you can't will yourself out of here because you got the wrong perception of it. And this has caused the fall of Rome, Greek. That's why those cultures don't exist no more. They didn't grasp their root culture. And so when you don't grasp it, you make up pseudo practices such as densities, such as sixth dimension. You make these up and you're not participating in the real thing. The real thing, you have to honor it and respect it. That's how it works. So I'm just giving you an example of why we don't need to know these densities. You don't even need to know all the information. You don't have to watch so many information. What you do, you grounding yourself harder to the earth. Try to free yourself up, zone out, and just try to put yourself into an intuitive state. You do that, you'll be able to find who you are and able to tap into yourself, and you will see yourself float out your body. That's more real. But to think you could read a book and do it, it's not going to work. I've tried it. So that's my message to you on this density stuff. A lot of these things that's going on. Let me see if there's any questions before I get out of here. Based off the matrix, earth and the body are the same, and you need to know what part of the game you're playing. Exactly. So it's like once you understand you're in the body, then you understand that they made a so real experience, a virtual reality, to make you want to cleanse your body. And it's kind of fun. It's like driving a video car game, first person view, and seeing everything go. Other worlds, you were dragons and all that. But trust me, you're in your pancreas, your liver, that's where you at. Because now that I do probiotics and I heal people, I could close my eyes and meditate, and it'll take me to the exact spot where the person's body is damaged at, and I could see from spores on their liver to holes in their liver. And the journey started, I was like, if I was in space and other worlds, and sometimes I see their past life regressions, but at the end of the journey, and a good view of it coming because it worked from frequency like the contrast on the TV. TV, if you turn down the contrast, as the image darkens, it changes to something else. So you think you're looking at one thing, but when you turn up the contrast, it's a face. You're like, oh shit. So then you realize it's a liver. So then I'm able to make a diagnosis on what's wrong from seeing inside the body, not from, oh, what's your symptoms? What's this? What's that? I close my eyes and I take a journey into the person's body. And we all could do that. You understand what I'm saying? Difference between that, I'm not in the city. I don't have a whole bunch of white people telling me that the COVID shit. Where I'm at, there's only like 2 cases of COVID. That's it on the whole place. There's no such thing as all that stuff. So we don't have these fears. We don't have no whole bunch of people fighting each other and all that. So it's very peaceful. It's a different type of energy here, which gives me the ability to leave my body without having to worry. I have to carry guns and worry about who's going to do that. While over there, you have to worry about these things. You got people bombarding you on your TV, politics. Everybody vote for Donald Trump, vote for, but nobody's helping you. Why should you vote for anybody that ain't helping you? It don't make no sense. But we'll take action into that than to help ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So my message is leave all that shit alone and focus on yourself. You're the president. You're the government. Nobody else is gonna do it until you realize that you're subject to the president and you're subject to the government till you take control of yourself as a nationalist and as a socialist. That's your position in life. That's what we are. You know, so I want you to understand that. You know, I don't want to get out of pocket and flip subject. So I think I'm gonna end this broadcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow and we're gonna discuss everything that's going on in Israel. I've been doing some deep, real research. I'm not gonna play and hold my tongue, and I'm not gonna be like everybody else that's quiet about everything. I'm gonna break down everything because we've been misled about Hitler. And I'm going to tell the true story of Hitler, and I'm going to make y'all have an understanding because we need real heroes. And it's time for people to step up and realize what these corporations, these governments, these bankers is doing to us, including to me and other countries that we don't get opportunities. They block everything. It has a so real effect on everybody. So I'm against this fight as Hero now. So Hero's coming up to join Black Patriot, where we're going to expose all the fucked up shit that the government and these so-called Zionists is doing to keep us oppressed. We need to know it because we participate in it, and it's actually a eugenics program that mixing up all the people in the United States is causing us our genetics to deteriorate, and eventually we're going to be a mixed race of unconscious people while they themselves don't mix their race. They don't mix with nothing. So we got to understand what's going on. Stay tuned, and I'm going to put you on to the game so that you can get your life together. This is Lord Enki, University of Conscious Science. Y'all have a blessed evening. Peace and love, Priscilla Bella. All right.